Kevin Holland has got a big mouth, but one thing is for sure, he backs it up. He never lets the trash talk get in the way of a good scrap, and that was very clear when he faced the legend, Jacare Souza. What an amazing knockout, but how could he generate so much power from the bottom? Is it even possible to be that dangerous when you're laying on your back? Let's see. In this fight, Kevin Holland managed to generate power in 3 different ways, with 3 separate right hands thrown off of his back. Let's quickly resume what happened before that moment. In the first minute of the fight, Holland got taken down because he threw a leg kick, but almost reversed Jacare with one butterfly. That being said, even if Jacare was on top, he didn't seem to be able to control Holland's legs. Indeed, Kevin's guard was surprisingly menacing, but Souza, being the jiu-jitsu specialist that he is, still preferred being tangled in Kevin's legs than finding himself in a stand-up match, and Holland made him pay for that with some brutal elbows from the bottom. Souza expended a lot of energy to get the fight to the mat, and once he got there, he felt relatively safe, probably thinking the hard part was done. Now, Jacare can take it easy. He's on his knees, facing a very high guard from Holland. He's not suspecting a thing, and this is where it gets interesting. From this position, Holland is looking to generate power in a rather unconventional way. Normally, to generate power you need a supporting point, a base. For a typical punch, that base comes from the back foot pushing on the ground. But of course, here, that's impossible. Kevin needs a different point of support. So, he pulls on Jacare's forearm right here. It doesn't look like much, but that's what allows him to get the right side of his body off the ground quickly. Without that wrist-controlled pull on Jacare's arm, there would be no explosion, no fast rotation, and certainly no power. However, using that creative technique, Kevin Holland manages to hurt Souza with an extremely precise shot on the chin. Ronaldo is stunned. He must take a moment to assess the position. During that time, Holland is trying to choose his next action. While laying on his left side, he actually pushes Souza with his right shin and does the same with his left foot. Jacare's balance is compromised, and he needs to put a hand on the ground to correct the problem. Now Holland's left leg is directly on Jacare's belly, and while extending that leg at its maximum, Kevin does something pretty unusual. Watch this. He extends his right arm, and he extends his right leg with the same motion. Plus, he pops his hips off the ground for a short moment. Right then and there, all of Holland's weight is resting at the middle of his spine, and he's ready for the next step. If I'm being honest, this part is quite astonishing. Look at this. By swinging his right leg in a circle, Kevin Holland initiates a chain reaction. The calculated leg move makes his pelvis roll on the ground, his hips start to rotate, his upper body gets off the canvas, and Jacare sees the swing too late. Holland destroys his temple from a position where he's got no right to generate that much power. It's simply incredible, all that destructive venom, created almost without a base, with raw momentum. The way Holland rolls from his back to his pelvis is something special, but it seems to come naturally for him. Look at that for an impact. Ronaldo is stunned again. Kevin sees it, just one more right hand, and it should do it. Jacare still desperately wants to control this leg, but Holland is ready to get up. Both of his fists are on the ground. He pushes himself up with his left arm, leans on his side with his left knee, and rotates his hips and shoulders. Now look at his right foot placement. There's his base. Finally, it seems like Holland is ready to transfer power in a more conventional way. He clips his opponent on the chin, getting through it like a knife through butter. At this point, it would be a sin to not make sure the fight's over. 3 right hands from his back. 3 different ways to generate power. The first time, he used Jacare's arm as a supporting point to fuel his explosive rotation. The second time, he brilliantly used his own limbs to create impressive momentum, which helped him greatly for temple destruction. The third time, he set up a base while he was getting up to facilitate the power transfer. A more traditional way to generate brute force, still from an unorthodox position of course. Kevin doesn't seem to discriminate when it comes to finding a power source. This was a spectacular knockout, and needless to say, very creative also. And what I absolutely love about these kinds of finishes is that they open our eyes to new possibilities. For example, when Travis Browne elbowed Josh Barnett unconscious, that particular position was never the same after. Since that moment, fighters and fight fans are aware of the elbow threat in those types of spots. It's the same thing with Holland's finish over Jacare. It makes people realize, wow, it's actually possible to knock someone out with punches off your back, with basically no point of support. MMA is literally the sport of possibilities. That's why it's so freaking exciting to make new discoveries. Thank you for watching, guys. If you want, leave a like, or share, or even subscribe. Alright guys, see ya.